Ciao friends and welcome back to My Little Italian Homestead. Spring has finally made its late appearance here in Abruzzo, and so it's time to roll up our sleeves and get ready for some hard work. Today I've taken the day off, so I'm going to be focusing on tidying up outside, and then at the weekend I'm going to start pruning my olive and fruit trees. So if you're interested in seeing what it really takes to run a homestead in rural Italy, then I invite you to spend the next couple of days with me and keep me company whilst I get ready for the new season. First things first, I wanted to pick up a smaller watering can so I could use it to water my plants on the balcony. And then I did take a look at some of the metal structures they had because I actually went to view the shed behind my kitchen wall, and it turns out it's at completely the wrong height to join the house to the kitchen. So that idea has gone out of the window, and now I'm looking to construct something in front of the kitchen. I also wanted to pick up some new plants for my balcony pots and a new spade and trowel, some iron rods to prop up my tomato plants, and then I couldn't resist this solar light in the shape of a hot air balloon. Right, I thought I'd ease myself into this as gently as possible, so I'm going to start with an easy task and give my balcony a bit of a much needed makeover. You can see that all of my balcony plants have been absolutely battered by the wind. This one seems to have survived more than the others, but the others are all dried up now as well, so I'm going to replace those. And then I have a terrible habit of leaving cushions and things outside during the hot months, and they obviously fade. So I've decided, even though I loved the strawberries, this has all got to go. And inspired by my recent trip to the Amalfi Coast, I'm going to do something a little bit more lemon themed, I think. This is what's left of my lemon trees since Mr. Pickles had his wicked way with them, so I'm going to try and salvage them on the balcony for a little bit. It's not the best growing conditions for them because it's a bit windy, but once they've been brought back to life, hopefully I'll be able to plant them out. Right, the next job is dealing with this hedge, which is completely out of control. As you can see, I haven't trimmed it since last year, so it's time to get cracking on making it look a little bit more presentable. Please ignore my technique. The chainsaw weighs almost as much as I do, and lifting it above my head is a challenge as I'm quite out of shape at the moment, so it's just a case of trying to get it done in any way possible. Worse than the actual trimming for me is tidying up the mess of leaves left behind. This is probably the only occasion where I would say that a leaf blower isn't the most useless tool ever invented. The pigs were desperate to be let out at this point, so I did give in, but it was hard to get anything done because I had to keep stopping to give belly rubs and trotter massages. These leaves are still very wet, so I'm going to leave them for a few days to dry out, and then I think once I've pruned the olive trees and I have all of the branches left over from that, I'll have a big bonfire. I feel like I just have to quickly mention this enormous wheel behind me. Now, does anyone else have a friend, roommate, partner who brings home the most random stuff and then never does anything with it? Well, mine brought this home in November last year and promised me he was going to buy thousands of fairy lights and it was going to be the best Christmas decoration I could ever hope for. And of course, it's just sat here taking up an incredible amount of room. So I've given him until the end of summer to get rid of it. But if anyone out there has any suggestions on how we could make use of this eyesore, then please leave them in the comments. With the enormous wheel successfully moved out of the way, it was time to trim the lawn, and of course the animals came to help me with any bits I'd missed afterwards. Here in Italy, on International Women's Day, it's traditional to gift each other this beautiful yellow plant called the mimosa. I was given this fabulous plant but haven't been able to put it outside yet, partly because of the pigs and partly because the weather has been so awful, and the mimosa plant likes bright sunlight and high humidity. I'm going to plant it in this corner here and we'll see how we get on pig-wise. My friends have actually given me the world's hottest chili, which I could squeeze and rub on the leaves, but it seems a little bit extreme, so I'm going to hold off for now, but I will use that method if I need to. Definitely time for a cup of tea. I'm very achy and I'll be the first to admit that it's because during the winter I do let myself get very lazy. I don't do anything at all outside, so it's hard to go from that to obviously lifting some very heavy weights overnight. But slowly I'm going to get back into it and I'm pleased with the work that I've done today. There was, of course, only one place I wanted to end today, and that was having a nice soak in the hot tub. I believe Mr. Valerio is also making us a little aperitivo to enjoy while we're in here. I'm back at work tomorrow, so I won't be starting the olive pruning until this weekend, but don't go anywhere. I'm going to be sharing that with you in this video. It's funny, whilst we were enjoying our snacks, I was saying to Mr. Valerio how nice it was to have the privacy to enjoy the hot tub. Then I noticed out of the corner of my eye that we were being watched by the chickens, and then the neighbour's cat. And then one cat became two. And then two became three, and I realised that actually we have a whole zoo of animals watching us the whole time. Good morning, I hope you're doing well. It's now Saturday and I've woken up to the most beautiful day. It's due to reach around 20 degrees Celsius, so it's the perfect weather to be pruning the olive and fruit trees. Before I get started, I need to pick up a few bits and pieces in town, so I'll take you along with me and then I'll talk you through the whole process. Although I've given up my daily cornetto over Lent, I decided I needed something sugary to keep me going today, so I did treat myself to a little pastry. I also wanted to make sure I had something for lunch, so I headed to my local delicatessen to pick up a filled roll. Right, let's talk tools. So I've just picked up this rubbing alcohol and a spray bottle to disinfect my tools in between trees. That's just in case there are any diseased branches. I obviously don't want to pass that from one plant to another. Then I've got some gloves, some secateurs for the smaller branches, and then I will show you my chainsaw for the bigger ones. I've got eye protection, headphones, I've got my playlist ready, and then in here I've just got the roll I picked up earlier, some water, some iced tea, and I think I'll probably take a blanket with me so I can just eat outside at lunchtime without having to come back in the house. And I think that's it. This is now the second time I've pruned the trees, so I feel a little bit more confident about the process on the whole. In brief, what we want to do is open up the tree a little bit, because olive trees tend to grow in quite a sprawling, bushy manner, and actually they're self-pollinating plants, so they need the wind to pass freely through them to blow the pollen. Removing those inner branches that grow straight upwards is going to make it much easier when it comes to harvesting the fruit in late October, but also those branches that don't receive any sunlight won't produce any fruit, so it does no harm to the tree in removing them. Along with opening the tree up a little bit in the middle, I'm also going to be removing any branches that are dead, diseased or damaged, any that cross over, and anything that grows below the scaffold fork. Although pruning isn't my favourite task of the year, I do think that these beautiful views more than make up for all the hard work. My partner has kindly loaned me his chainsaw to do the bulk of the work, but anything that's less than the thickness of my thumb I'm doing with the manual secateurs. Right, I'm about one row down, which is around 30 trees, and I'm hoping that I'll be able to get another 2 rows done today, which means that I'll just have those outside of the olive grove to do tomorrow morning. It's going quite well so far, except I've already managed to lose my eye protection, so I'm just using my sunglasses for now, and I keep getting interrupted by lizards, but otherwise all good. I thought I would stop for a moment now and have something to eat, and then I need to go and fill up the chainsaw with a little bit more oil and petrol. I'm too scared to go up the ladder with a heavy chainsaw, so anything I can't reach from the ground I'm doing on the ladder but with the secateurs. Morning folks, it's day 2 today, and as you can see it's another beautiful day. I've got one more row in here to do and then a separate row of the oldest trees, and then outside of the olive grove there are just 4 trees on their own. I do kind of need to speed up a little bit today because I'm back to work tomorrow and I really need to get it all finished today, so I probably won't film as much as I did yesterday, but let's see how I get on. Some of the trees needed a lot more pruning than the others, and as you can see I had to take loads and loads of branches from this one. Again, the worst part of the whole process for me is definitely collecting up all of the debris. Because I don't want to have a bonfire in the olive grove, it means wheeling this wheelbarrow all the way down to the bottom of the land, collecting the branches and taking them all the way back to the house to burn them. Finally, it was time to purchase some organic manure, and I'm going to put this all around the trunks of the trees to give them the best nourishment possible for the season ahead. On my way back, I did notice this ingenious way of getting heavy things up to the house without using the stairs, although I'm not sure why this chap needs firewood when it's 21 degrees outside. So that's it, I am done pruning for another year and I'm very tired and achy, but I've had a good long shower and at least I feel lovely and clean at last. I could happily just crawl into bed, but we're actually going out for pizza with friends tonight, so I'm going to leave the vlog here. But next week, if the weather stays nice, I'm going to be planting all of my veggies for the year, so make sure you turn on notifications if you want to see that. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again soon.